Hey everybody, it is Thanksgiving Eve. It's the end of the day and I'm ready to get out of here. And my battery's about dead, so I have my phone plugged in. So, I'm facing the wrong way. And anyway, we did some organizing of our shop today. We also did a little video yesterday morning where I was showing you guys the shop. I'll insert that right here. This is what our facility looks like, in case you guys are wondering. And otherwise, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're ready for a couple of days off. I know I am. I'm ready to wrap it up and take a couple days off here because it's been crazy. And then they're calling for snow in Cleveland on Monday night into Tuesday. So we had to get ourselves ready for our snow ops, get our trucks all set up, and plows and salt spreaders and everything else. So we have all that going on. So anyway, it is we're starting December here in the next month. So how are you guys doing with your end of the year? Is everybody finishing strong? I spent the last couple of years rebuilding my business. I've talked about that in my videos before, and man, this year just really, really rocked. Even though we had a pandemic, even though we've had, a lot of other crazy stuff going on, our year really, really ended up strong, and I'm super happy for that. So it took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of rebuilding, and it took a lot of just changing out my team members and really just focusing on the business 100% while I'm here and even while I'm not here. And a couple things that I did this year that I think really helped us a little bit. I've done a little more advertising in a local paper that's been working out real well for us. I've also focused a lot on enhancements, which I may have talked about before, but I've been doing that quite a bit. Our company's switched focus a little bit into enhancements. We're still high, high on the scale of commercial maintenance, which I think, that's our core business and will always be. But over the last couple of years, if you're following my channel, you'll notice that, I did some downsizing in my business. I went, pretty substantially downsized my staff. My sales went down about 20%. That was by design. And I built it back, up another 10% this year. So by next year, I should be back to where I was a couple of years ago. So I think I'm in real good shape for doing that. Our snow accounts this year are looking really good. We've got some serious snow jobs that I'm really happy about. So rambling a little bit here, but bottom line is, I think if you're looking to rebuild your business, if you're looking to build your business, you need to have a focus. You need to focus on a couple of things. You cannot do it alone. If you're going to be a one-man band, that's cool. I have nothing against that. But if you're trying to grow your company, trying to grow your business and build up a business, you can't do it alone. You have to pick the right team members. And sometimes you have to go through some team members too. It's very, very difficult, and it's important to get the right ones. So how do you get the right ones? That's the big question, right? How do you get the right people to work for you? You have to look at what you have. You have a culture, whether it's just one person or 10 people, you've got a culture, okay? And you have to find people that fit in with that culture a little bit. Somebody that you can get along with, that you can manage, that's not hard to manage. People that are hard to manage are hard to manage. Hold on a second, my phone's ringing. All right, sorry about that. My phone was ringing. Anyway, so we were talking about people being hard to manage, and a mentor of mine, somebody that I've been working with for a long time, told me once, he said, listen, either someone's going to give you energy or they're going to take away your energy. So you need to find people that are going to give you energy. In addition to that, you need to hire problem solvers. If someone's coming to you every time something breaks, every time there's an issue, and they're calling you, they're texting you, they're coming in your office every time. And I always say, my office door is open, but to a certain point. You know, your job is, if you're a foreman here, you have to understand and you have to be able to troubleshoot some things. You have to be able to deal with some customer issues. You have to be able to deal with employee issues. You know, you can't call me every time you're having a problem with a crew member. You can't call me every time you're having a little bit of a problem with your lawnmower or your truck. You know, some of that stuff has to be, you have to troubleshoot that. You know, that's what I'm paying you for. So finding people that solve problems is super important. Also, when you're building your team, finding people that are strong where you are weak. So like, I know what my strengths are and I know what my weaknesses are, and we all have both. So I'm going to hire people and try and bring people in that play to my weaknesses. Somebody that can help me, like say mechanically, like I'm not super mechanically inclined. So I have to hire at least one person that's really good with mechanics. So, and I have that, and the person that I have working in that area, you know, in operations, is really good with that. So I have to hire people to compensate for the things that I'm weak at, and you need to do the same. So building a team is super important. You have to figure out who it is you need on your team. What's the next person? If you're just a one-person company, then you need a crewman. If you're somebody that has 5-6 employees, but you have no foreman yet, you probably need to be thinking about a good foreman, a good right-hand man, somebody that can come in there and take the crew over while you sell and while you work on the business. That's super important once you get to that certain point. Say you got 7, 8, 9 crews, and you have 7 or 8 foremen that are running those crews. Well, maybe it's time for an ops manager. Maybe it's time for an account manager. You know, those are the kinds of things, or a field supervisor. Somebody that can take control of those foremen, somebody that can oversee them, and then everybody answers to them, and then the operations manager answers to you. That way you're taking 7 people basically off your plate from direct reports and giving them to that operations manager to deal with instead of you. So, and it's called delegations. It's not laziness, it's delegation. So if you're doing that kind of stuff, you're delegating, you're building your business, you're building your team. That way you can bring on more foremen, you can bring on more people, and it doesn't stress you out as much. So if you follow me there, you know, as you're building your business, as you're growing your business, you have to grow your team. And you also have to sell. I mean, if you're going to build the business up and make it bigger, you know, you have to focus on sales, and you have to focus on the right sales. That's something I've been really, really focusing on the last couple of years, is focusing on my sales. So number 2 is you've really got to focus on the sales, because if you want to grow, you got to have more business, and and if you're going to have more business, please make it the right business. You know, don't go in there cheap or low just to build your business up. You know, try and keep your pricing as competitive as possible, but also, you know, in the area that you need to be to make a profit. So that's very important. You got to focus on those customers. Look around and see whose business do you want, and take a look at what's out there in your market and where are you making the most money. You have to analyze. It's the end of the year. Analyze your jobs. Look at where you're making the most money, and wherever you're making the most money, you want more of that. Pretty easy. So you just want to find jobs, and if you're losing money on jobs, obviously you want less of that. I'm not saying you have to get rid of them, I'm just saying you want less of that. So, you know, build your team, definitely. Let's do that. So why don't you make a goal for 2021? You're going to build your team. You're going to get another key person, whether that's one more, it's a crew person, a foreman, an ops manager, an office manager. That's another thing that's super duper important, like having the right person in the office to take all that paperwork and stuff off your plate. You know, you don't want to be doing billing at 10 o'clock at night. So an office person, an office manager, that's another thing you need to look at. Also, why don't you look at your sales for 2021? Let's look at, hey, where do I want to be? Do I want to grow 10%, 20%, 30%, 5%? What do I need to do? How many doors do I have to knock on to get that 20% more sales? And there goes my phone again. Quite annoying. And it's, you know, the thing of it is with these phone calls that I get, a lot of time in the office here, and my office manager is gone because it's the end of the day. It's telemarketers, like so many telemarketers call. It's so annoying. Hold on a minute. All right, so to wrap it up, we're going to talk about, or we're going to think about for 2021, let's think about growing your team, growing your sales, and making sure that you know what the best customers are for you, for your business. What's the next team member that you need? And then, take some time for yourself over the holidays. Take some time for yourself over the next 4 days. Take some time just to focus and to maybe think about where you want to be next year. 2020 has been a crazy, just pretty much a disaster as far as, what's going on in the world. So, we've had a lot of stuff going on, and you all know that. But, it's also, you have to reflect on some of the positive. So I hope that you're doing well. Please think about 2021. It's right around the corner. Okay. Have a great Thanksgiving. Thanks for watching. Please hit subscribe, ask me a question, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Again, thanks. I appreciate it. We'll see you soon.